go. Break it down, put it there, bring it on, step it up. Right there, break it down, put it there. Here we go, step it up, bring it on, let's go.
Welcome to your screen, welcome to Studium Generale, welcome to the Corona Hall. Yep, Shakespeare would say, what's in the name? But we're not going into that, because most of all, a warm welcome to this concert. The Canto Ostinato by Simeon ten Holt, performed by the Dutch Saxophone Octet. Before I'll introduce them and the concert, first a short introduction by one of the musicians who's going to play, Tom Sanderman. Tom, the floor and screen is yours.
Hi everyone, thank you for listening, thank you for watching to this live stream. My name is Tom Sanderman, I'm from the Dutch Saxophone Octet, het Nederlands Saxofoon Octet. And we're going to play a concert for you, consisting only one piece. And this one piece is the Canto Ostinato by Simeon ten Holt, like David already told. And this is a very special piece. Normally in a concert situation I would ask, please raise your hands if you ever heard this piece or if you know this piece. It's a bit awkward maybe now for this live stream, but if you participated, thank you very much. In this short introduction, I'm going to tell you something about a little bit about the history, about the composer, and about the piece. I take 1945 as a starting point for a new development in music. Jazz becomes bigger, pop music makes its way, but the classical music takes a big turn. Classical music now has the title contemporary classical music. Before 1945, there was romanticism and impressionism in classical music. For example, composers like Debussy and Ravel were very important in that time. But after the Second World War, it changed and it became different. And serialism and atonality were there as a response on everything that happened in that moment. A little reductive, but emotions took place for ratio. Classical music gets a bit more abstract, experimental and dissonant. Composers don't write music with their heart, with pathos, but with mathematical formulas. Hard word to pronounce. A new music development often started with a counter-reaction. In this time, in the 60s, was the same case. This experimental and atonal music got so extreme and became so complex, people were in need with simplicity, actually. In this time, minimal music took place. Minimal music from the 60s, started in the 60s, was a musical style with a lot more tonality, linked to pop music almost, a lot of repetitive motifs, and had their godfathers like Philip Glass, Steve Reich, Terry Riley, Lamonti Young, very eye-catching composers in these times. The classical music changed again, and the fun thing about this music is it wasn't only anymore for concert halls and for churches, it became much broader. It was a music style also performed in galleries or on the streets or in different rooms. So this minimal music made it possible actually for a lot of classical music afterwards to have much more concert halls and much more rooms to play in. And also for this time, a lot of composers or a lot of musicians finding their inspiration in minimal music. For example, go to a house festival or trance festival. Everything around you is minimal music at this time. But in the 60s, there was also a guy named Simeon ten Holt, a composer. And when minimal music started, actually, Simeon ten Holt wasn't really aware of this style. This minimal music started in America, and Simeon ten Holt was most of the time in the Netherlands or studied in France. Before telling something about Simeon ten Holt, I want to give you a little quote. I'm also making a podcast, the Oorwarmers podcast, and in our last episode we had a guest, and this guest was a friend of Simeon ten Holt, and he told me that he spoke to Simeon at the end of his life. Simeon was ill, and the doctor said to Simeon, well, you should stop smoking. And from the moment on he stopped smoking, he also stopped composing. Because every morning he stood up, had a coffee, had a cigarette, and then started composing. But the cigarette part was gone. So his process wasn't there anymore, and he totally stopped after his illness and, well, after his cigarettes, actually. So that's a fun story. He's from 1922, from a Dutch place called Bergen. And in the time this classical music changed after the Second World War, Simeon was really there with all the other composers. He was a process composer, working with formulas, almost not anymore from the heart, but, well, not from the computer at that time, but from formulas. He started making minimal music in the 70s. The piece Canto Ostinato we're going to play is from 76 until 79. So he was quite late with this minimal music. He had another development than, well, the classical music in general. Let's see. Yeah, in 1985 he had this big breakthrough with Canto Ostinato. From that moment on he was, well, the god composer of the Netherlands, maybe. The Canto Ostinato, boundbreaking, very, very special piece. One of the first pieces of minimal music from a Dutch composer, and originally wrote for 4 keyboards. The premiere was for 3 pianos and 1 electric keyboard. We're going to do it with 8 saxophones. And Simeon wrote about this piece, a quote of him, that he thinks this is the renaissance of tonality. I don't totally agree with him, because, well, minimal music was already in the 60s, and with a lot of tonality, and there was a lot of pop music, but, well, this is his opinion. This piece you're going to listen to can take between, well, an hour or maybe 4 hours. We're going to play, let's say, 70, 80 minutes. And in this game, in this piece, it's a big tension and release game you're going to hear. I'm going to the second sheet. Don't worry, you don't have to know anything about music notation in this introduction. This piece comes with instructions, and that's a fun thing. The instructions are on the screen, but I'm going to read them out loud. The scheme of repeats as a structural element of the piece allows the players to make their own choices regarding A, the number of times the relevant sections will be repeated, B, the intentions, like playing loud, playing soft, C, the manner of playing very staccato, very short, or playing longer lines. The piece develops within the frame of choices offered in these 3 points, and is worth remembering that the players are by no means allowed to act as composers and play a note not found in the score. So it's very important that you play the notes, but with these instructions we can improvise, and that makes it a very dynamic piece. Ten Holt also says, every performance of the Canto Ostinato is a new composition process. So it never stopped, actually, is composing, because we have the freedom to improvise with the things he gives us. That makes it for us also very special. When you listen to this piece in about, 5 minutes, you're going to see us watching to each other. We need to respond to each other. So it's a different way of making music, which is very interesting, I think. Let's say, about this piece, he says, every time you perform this, it's a journey, a trip, a travel. And he says, this piece is a roundabout. You have in classical music a lot of cross sections where you have a conductor who is saying you need to play this like this, you need to play like this. But this piece is a roundabout, which means with we play it, but we need to listen all to each other, and everyone is equally important in this. You need to be very aware where everyone is before coming into the roundabout. I thought that was a fun way of saying this, let's say. What I wanted to say with this sheet music, this is the sheet music of the piece, and what is fun is in the lower back, in the left corner, you see variations. So we are going to improvise with these variations, and we don't know who is playing what, and it's a very interesting way of performing, actually, also for us. To the next sheet. Seeing the score for the first time is almost like putting a jigsaw puzzle together. It takes time to understand it, and even longer to be playful with it, what I just said, to improvise with it. To make it a bit more clear, when you see the image on the right, I made a small example on how Ten Holt builds his score. You have a B part, that's the right in the under corner. This B part is how we see our sheet music normally. This is what's written. But in A, this is how Simeon does it. So A, you have these lines, but it's, well, a bit chaotic and notes through each other in different brackets. But in B, you see, it's exactly the same as A, but a bit more structurized. But he wanted to say with this, you have all these different motives, and you can choose, but they're all connected to each other. Within one line, one motive, Ten Holt actually shows a variety of opportunities in this piece. So I already said this piece is a big tension and release piece. A lot of people are meditating with this piece. Some other people dance with this piece. I would like you to enjoy it in the way you like to do. But in big lines, with this tension and release, you have two big relaxation moments, releases. And that is when the core melody comes in. You're going to hear it very clear, I think. It will be, I'm not saying who is playing it, but he or she plays it beautiful. The melody is da 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 dee da 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 dee da da da. It's very clear when you hear it, and that's the core of the piece. So every time you get there after a big tension, breathe out and enjoy this amazing piece. To make it a bit more personal before playing this concert, I would like to introduce the players. From the left to the right, you see David Cristobal Itago, Lisa Wies, an empty chair, that's me, Dineke Nauta, Janita Veuring, Nina van Helvert, Juan Manuel Dominguez, and Marijke Schreuer. And well, it's a bit weird for us too to don't see our audience, but if you'd like to get in contact and send us a message, we would love that. You can find us on Facebook, on Instagram, through our website. We would love to hear what you think, but mostly I hope you have a great concert, and also thanks to the university for inviting us. David wants to end with a few words.
Thanks, Tom, for enlightening us. I wanted to quit smoking, but I'm not sure anymore now. I have some announcements for the audience at home. First, after the concert, a link will appear in the chat for the use registration. And as we heard of Tom already, originally written for keyboards, but tonight is an exception. An exceptional performance, 8 saxophones it will be. Het Nederlands Saxofoon Octet, the Dutch Saxophone Octet. Let it come to you at home as you wish. But my suggestion, lay down on your couch, floor or bed, have your laptop well inside, listen or dance to it, and get hypnotized. I wish you a pleasant time. The Canto Ostinato by the Dutch Saxophone Octet. Enjoy.